It's Tuesday. We have project recipe today. Excuse me. And if you have not, if you register for the project recipe on my website, then you might have noticed the wrong PDF link was attached. However, your reminder, which went out an hour before I went live, has the correct PDF. And if you forgot to register and you go do that now, the correct PDF will come with the registration, since you will not get a reminder since I'm already started. So if you are hopping on to watch live, or if you're watching the replay later, check your email. The correct PDF is now attached. So we had a fun Sunday, our first event of the year, and we had our Ride the Rails Scrappy Adventure from DeLand to Tampa and back. There were 12 of us that went, and many of you missed that. So hopefully you will make an effort to hop on these lives, even if it's just for the first few minutes, watch the recording. So that I always go through the upcoming events, so you won't miss a thing. I promise. We didn't keep it a secret. It's been out on Facebook in my events for months on my website, and I've been announcing it in the lives. And I'd love to have you come on the next one for sure. We had such a good time. Every time I say, well, are we doing it again? And everyone seems to have a great time. So it is a fun day. So let's get into what else is coming up. Many thanks if you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. That is the best way to catch up on everything you might have missed, especially if you subscribe to my card class or just miss any of these lives. There is a virtual crop happening right now. So normally the second Tuesday of the month is tool time with Tara, but we mix things up a little bit because I did digital last week. And I usually do a sketch, but there's still time. So you can submit. If you go to the Creative Memories virtual crop group, you can download the PDF. If you're not able to do it, I always print mine, save it. But it tells you which hashtag to include. So if you do have time to do a couple pages tonight, you can post them in the virtual crop group with the proper hashtag, and then you'll be entered to win some fun prizes from Creative Memories. You might win. Why not? Let's see. So that goes through midnight tonight. See you time. And then for local advisors, so if you're in the Daytona Beach area, or if you're not but you want to drive in this weekend, I'm hosting an advisor crop this weekend with other area advisors. So we will be hanging out in Port Orange, cropping from 10 to 3 this Saturday. Hopefully you can make it. You can RSVP on my Daytona area scrapbooking website, and we will do in-person advisor meetups in the odd months this year. Not necessarily always an advisor crop. It might be something else, but we will get our hands on things and have a good time. So if you are an advisor and maybe you don't have a local team, or maybe you are under the home office and you want to come hang out, meet other advisors, we'd love to have you join us. Let's see, Tool Time with Tara is next week, and we are going to be playing with some of Creative Memories' newest tools, and that is the newest Border Maker cartridge, and I can't wait to play with that with you. Jumpstart January, we officially have a waiting list. So if you're watching this and maybe you signed up for a full table and maybe you don't really need a full table, that would allow other people to come. So if you want to downgrade, I can give you a credit, and then I can move some of these people off the waiting list. I believe we have 2 or 3 on the waiting list right now. And they have a pretty good shot of making it in, even if no one downgrades, just because usually there's some last minute sickness and cancellation. But if you know right now, you know what, I don't really need a full table, then like I said, I can give you a credit and we can let some of our other scrappy friends attend. All right, so this is a new type of event, January 31st, 10 a.m. This will be at my home in Port Orange. You will make the project playbook. I will take you through it, and plus I have designed extra pages to go along with that. So you'll make the pages in the project playbook plus some extra ones. So you you buy the whole Buy It All bundle. It's about $100 with tax. You do that on my website, DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com. I'll make sure you've got everything you need, and we will go through it, and you will leave with some great pages ready to go for the year. And this collection, the On Your Own collection, matches all the pages that will be part of the monthly kits. And speaking of monthly kits, if you were part of the monthly scrapbook club last year, now it's called Scrap and a Snap, and we're going to meet quarterly, and that's already on my website. And so it's in March, the end of March. So you can go ahead and sign up. You can buy for the quarter or you can buy for the whole year right now, and then you won't miss a kit. All right, Retreat to the Island, Amelia Island, February 26th to March 1st. If you're already signed up, which a lot of you are because it's almost sold out, you will want to make sure that your hotel is booked. We are fast approaching the close of the room block. So I will get a list from the hotel and also reach out to people that haven't gotten a room yet. But if you know you haven't gotten a room, the link is in the event at DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com. Oh, and I mentioned Scrap and a Snap, March 26th, 5:30. We will have dinner. It's Alberto's Pizza, and you'll order what you want the week before. So you kind of have to know what you think you might be feeling like on March 26th. So we'll put in our order a week before, then you'll pay when we get there. They'll make it fresh, and then we'll do our 3 2-page spreads. And then Retreat to the Lake, my 75th retreat. Unbelievable. Can't believe it. It's also Alice in Wonderland's 75th anniversary, so we will be having an Alice in Wonderland theme. All right. And because I forgot to go live, those last week that were on Techie Tuesday, I said if you shared the live, you would be entered to win some CM credits. So here we are. I've got the names in there, and let's spin and see who our winner is. And it's Faith. Congratulations, Faith, and you're on. Woohoo! So I will send you some CM credits, and you can use it on some of the new stuff. All right. So project recipe. Let's get right into it. We are doing the Winter Bliss, and as I said before, if you haven't already downloaded it, you will want to do that and save that. And let me switch my camera, and we will get right into it. So look at this. I'm a mess already. I haven't even started. Oh, this reminds me. So I got a little giveaway to do, and it really, you have to watch in order to be eligible because there's a question involved. So if you don't have one of these, and if you want one of these, and you might be saying, what the heck is that? So our 2 trimmers nest together like this and go in a bag. But this handy dandy strap, oops, I have it backwards. You want to be able to see the I love scrapbooking part. This keeps them together so that the blades don't open and you don't lose anything. So if you want one of these, in the comments, and they're listed on here, so you can go to your trimmer and look, and if you can either put in the comments, it doesn't have to be today, so you have until Friday to do it, list your favorite blade, and if you don't have any of the extra blades, put in the comments the blade that you would love to have. All right, so that, and whoever, I will enter everyone into a drawing who does that, and you may win one of these fun I Love Scrapbooking straps. And if you don't have this trimmer, you don't want to use it for the trimmer, you can use it for something else, I'm sure. Maybe a headband for jazzercise. Okay. So today, actually last project recipe, I used the tropical garden, and when I pulled the pictures, because I am scrapbooking pictures from Lakeland, a retreat to Lakeland, look at all these tropical colors. Hello, it's perfect. I am so excited to use this. So I've already pulled my paper, and I know what I'm going to do. You should do that. If you are using the project recipe, I think I've shared this before, but I'll share it again. I usually spend some time studying the layout, seeing how many landscape photos I need, how many portrait photos I need, squares I need before I even do my printing. And then I go into my my pictures, and I always have some extra because there's some spots, right? We can circle, I can add a picture here. Sorry, you can't see. Don't you love when I do that? I can add a picture here. I can add a picture here. So there's places that I can add some pictures to, and you know that I love to do that. I also was looking at these squares, and I thought, oh boy, when I printed my pictures, I'm like, I don't know that I can get any of them down to a 3x3. But if you've watched before, then you know I don't love a super thick mat, and so I can get away with 3¼ by 3¼ and then I feel like maybe people will just lose some of their arms, and they won't be sad about that. This project recipe also calls for a knockout punch. That is what's called when the border stays attached to the paper, so you have to cut it apart. However, I should have looked ahead because here it is. The newest border maker cartridge, these flowers that I used on my last project recipe or tool time, I guess it was tool time, they would be perfect for this. But then in the bonus secret box, if you got all 4 secret boxes, you got a bonus, you could buy a bonus one. And this one says smile. And I thought that would be fun too, because of course we've got lots of smiling scrapbookers in these pictures. So, I don't know. We'll see how we feel when we get to that part. Okay, so I've got my virtual crop sketches. I can put those away. And time to get out the cutting guide. So if you've never done a project recipe before, this is what it looks like when you print it. So this is our cutting guide, and then this is our layout guide. So it calls for 3 pieces of paper. Oh shoot, I forgot to grab the white cardstock. So you thought, well, this doesn't look like this paper. Tara, you just said you're using tropical. You're right, it doesn't look like that paper. I rarely, if ever, use the paper that's shown in the project recipe, and that's because I want you to see how different it looks with different papers, how you can use different punches, use different papers, and that obviously match your photos, and it looks so great. So, like I said, I'm going to use either the New Flower Border Maker cartridge or the Smile Border Maker cartridge and all this tropical. But I forgot to grab a white piece of cardstock, and I'm looking around me right now to see if I have one within arm's reach, and I believe I do not. So hold please while I disconnect my microphone and run to the other side of my workshop. Coming to grab my white, and then all of my, I hate when I do that because, so new camera is coming, by the way, and new microphone. Did I just bump this? What happened? I guess not. All right, so our very first one is going to be, I said we'd decide when we get here. But we have to decide now which one we're going to do. I think I'm going to go. Well, what do you think? If you're watching live and you have a preference, I'm using this one. And so right here, it says reverse border punch. So we're actually going to use the other side of this. And it really doesn't matter which side we use. Let's put all this away. I guess I'll use the flowers. The flowers. So, favorite tool, definitely, of all the tools. I'm gonna slide this in here, this guide. The yellow lines won't necessarily matter in either one I use, definitely not in the flower. In fact, it'll just add a little variation. You can barely tell that the lines exist. So this tool, the reason why I love it so much is it's really hard to mess it up. So, and some of the newer punches square themselves off. Some of the older punches you had to run through your trimmer. And in order to square up that edge before you could go again. And I love that these new ones, you do not need to do that. They square up themselves, which means you don't have to take the time to grab your trimmer and square it up. You can just keep on trucking. And then you end up with a nice edge. All right, so we've got those. And of course, when I was picking my papers, I had to make sure that the back was appropriate for this type of thing. If it was a color that I didn't, want in the mix, then I would have chose something different. So we've got our two reverse border punches, and our next thing is to do 9 by 3 1/4 by 6. Now I'm going to check to make sure that it's 9 by 3 1/4. It might not be because I did not use the punch that was prescribed, but I did use a border punch, and it is just about, let's see, 9 3/4. It is like 1/8 of an inch off, so pretty darn close. And now I have to turn this and trim at 6. So if you love the look and you like to do the pre-designed pages like this, then if you're able, you'll want to come to that special Project Playbook, Project Play Day at the end of the month, because I'm going to take you through step by step. I know it's hard when you're watching online because you don't have, well, maybe, hopefully when you're watching this, you have this next to you. But at the Project Play play day, you will have all the measurements, but then I'll also walk you through it. Okay, so then our next designer paper, I chose this one. And it does call for the reverse on some of these, but this paper will also match. And if you were watching last month, actually, I used this page. Yeah, it came out really great. All right, so we're gonna do a 1/2 inch by 12. So that's this first line right here. That is a 1/2 inch. So we're gonna go to that line. And we're gonna use this whole sheet of paper except for this little piece right here. So I'm gonna cut 4 and 4, and then this is 3 1/2 because we took a 1/2 there. All right, so now I'm gonna go this way. 4 and 4. And that should leave us with 3 1/2. I'm gonna make sure. Yep, perfect. Now I'm gonna cut the long way. So one of them stays full. This one has a little bent edge. So I'm gonna use that for this middle one. So I don't have to swing this out. Let's see, if it was 10, I need to cut off 2 1/4 because it needs to be 9 3/4. So 9 3/4 plus 2 1/4 is 12, right? Check my math. All right, well, hello. Okay, so those two are done. Now I need the 3 1/2 inch, and those are going to be 3 1/2, 3 1/2, and 5. So I'm going to cut the 3 1/2s first. 3 1/2, 3 1/2, and then that leaves me with a 5, and it is. All right, so now all I have to do is my white, and my whole camera is gonna dim because it doesn't like the white. Okay, so this is one of those things why it's a good idea to do a little bit of studying of your project recipe before and know what you're going to do. So on the original, so see how the green is coming through? Well, the green on here is the white cardstock. And so you put a 3/4 inch piece that goes behind. Well, I need to do that for my flowers. If I can unbury them over here. So will a 3/4 inch piece do the job? It will not. This, if I want it to kind of frame it, you know, like come out both ends, it really needs to be 1 inch. Can I accomplish that? Yes, because you see all this extra over here. So instead of 3/4 by 12, I'm going to do 1 inch by 12. You know that old saying, what is it? Measure twice, cut once. So this is where when you're picking your pictures and you're looking at the project recipe, where do those pieces of paper go? And like when I was picking this picture, I said, okay, where is the busiest piece of paper on this piece right here? And the busiest piece of paper was this piece behind the landscape photos. And that's why I chose to use that piece of paper for designer paper number 1. And then that's also the punch, but then I flipped it over and said, yes, that will work. So it is in your best interest to kind of plan it out a little bit in your head. So that when you get to this and if you cut the 3/4 and 3/4, I don't know, you might have 2 inches here at the end that if you realized after, oh darn, I wish I would have made that bigger. But if you can see those little things coming, it is helpful. So, and then sometimes I cut all the pieces and I don't end up, something you've seen if you've watched before, where I'm like, oh, I don't like the way that looks, or oh, I don't like the reverse of this. So, you know, you can pivot if you need to. All right, 4 1/4 and 4 1/4 for both of these. I got to be careful when I get chit-chatting. Then I can mess things up. Talk about measure once or measure twice, cut once. All right, so far this and then that tiny little piece that I might have already thrown away, I did, are the only leftovers. So this one's a great, if you're one that looks for project recipes that use all the paper, this is a good one. And I'm one of those people. I don't like it when we're just using partials. Then I go looking for a part of a paper. Okay, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2, 5 1/2. All right, and then so 5 1/2 goes to the end of this trimmer. So 5 1/2, 5 1/2. And we need this one. 5 1/2. And 5 1/2. All right, and then we're going, see these little doodads over there? Those are right here at the bottom. So 4 1/4, 2 little 1/2 inch pieces. So sometimes that's hard to do when the piece is really thin like that. So it might be easier to do it on your photo trimmer. And you know, some days, I'm sure I'm not the only one that's like this. Some days I am a messy cook and my kitchen is a disaster. And some days I am a messy scrapbooker. And there is no 1/2 inch, so I'm going to have to eyeball it. I'm comfortable doing that because done is better than perfect. And even if they aren't absolutely perfect, it's okay. I don't know where that other little piece went. Oh, here it is. I'm going to save this because I might use it for journaling. Same thing with this, especially when it's white cardstock. Careful, don't cut yourself. I like to hang on to those for potential journal boxes. Okay, well, that's quick. And now it's time to lay out, and then we'll add our pictures. Then we'll have 2 more pages done. Speaking of pages done, I'm going to post this. This is the page a day for 2026. It has little things that you can color in for how many pages you've done. And the goal is to do 365. Now, you can do it a couple different ways. Some people like to fill in the date. So what's today? The 13th. So I'm going to do 2 pages. So I can do like 12 and 13 if I want, or I can do 13 and 14. Up to you if you want to do 365 2-page spreads. I'm counting a page. So like I did digital pages on the train. I haven't colored those in yet, but then I can add those too. I like to, instead of going by the date, I start at the beginning. So I'll put the ones from the train. I did 4 pages on the train, and then I'll do these 2. So I'm up to 6, and today's the 13th. I'm not that far behind. So maybe you only get January filled in. Maybe you only get 31 pages. But if you do the scrap and a snap, that's 12 2-page spreads. So that's already up to 24 pages. So I just like a visual. But you know what? Somebody shared with me, this is free. This is a little off topic. But one of the advisors on my team shared that she printed one out, and she is cleaning out a drawer or a cabinet like for each. She's trying to, and I like looked around my room, just my bedroom, like how many dresser drawers, how many like little cubbies that have baskets, then my kitchen. There's a lot of little places. So like even just looking around my desk, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's like 14, 15 little like shelf areas in here. So I thought, what a great idea. So I actually printed 2 of these. Jean, shout out to Jean. I'm going to do that for my spaces too. I'm going to, because last year it was on my to-do list to go through all the things in my kitchen. And I didn't do it. Not even one. But I thought, okay, if I just take it a drawer at a time, a drawer a day, a shelf a day, maybe I can do it. Oh, it's January. We set some big goals, lofty goals for ourselves. All right, so this is what I've chosen for my background. It's dark, but I like it. All right, so I'm going to lay out this first page first. Get over here. The first one we need, these are the same, so this kind of does have an orientation. All right, so we're going to go there. Now, I forget if this was a reverse or not. Let's see. It tells us. No, it's a regular. All right, that's good. This makes me feel more comfortable. That other one was a little much for me. All right, now I decided to cut that 1 inch. And I've lost my, it's gonna go like that. You can't see it. Help. Because I'm using that reverse side. Let's see what it looks like on the other side, just for funsies. That's a mess. I mean, it's fine, but just I'll have to remember to put the adhesive on the right side. Okay, then these little notchy friends go up here. I haven't notched out the bottom yet and made them different lengths, but I'm just kind of roughly laying things out. And then, oh, J is the reverse. So we definitely need to do that, right? We can't do that. So we're going to go reverse on there. And then we have 2. See, so the reason why I put the busiest paper in there is look at how much gets covered up. So don't be afraid. Sometimes, and I'm saying that because I'm one of those people that get afraid sometimes of busy paper because it makes me jumbly inside. That's a word my mom uses. But, you know, finally at this age, hey, Lori, at this age, I realize what she means by jumbly inside. I'm actually sad that so much of it is getting covered up, if I'm being completely honest, because it is gorgeous, gorgeous paper. All right, now let's see if I can remember to use the appropriate adhesive on here. And Lori, I know you missed the beginning, and I think Jen, you did too. I don't know if you heard me. If you share your, oh, I have a pile over here that just fell. If you share your favorite blade or the blade that's on your wish list, then I'm going to do a drawing for, oh boy, I have a pile that's falling. For the I Love Scrapbooking strap. So you just have to put that in the comments. All right, let's get this. Okay, that's taped down. Let's do this. And this is going on. This is kind of going in the middle because a title is going up there. I'm not going to stick it yet because I'm going to wait and see where I'm going to put the extra photo I printed for that page. So you know I always like to try to sneak on some extra photos. I'm putting both of these on at the same time. Had some scissors over here. I'm going to notch this out. And I like to go shallow in my notch. I'm a shallow notcher. I don't like them looking like snake or lizard tongues. I apparently can't put my adhesive on correctly. All right, so they've got the longer one on the inside. That doesn't mean I need to, but and that seems to be crooked. Ay, ay, ay. And now we have to add this. So it looks like maybe this isn't made. Okay, I have to move everything up a little bit because this is not covered over. Now remember, I opted to make it a little longer. But it's good to get this figured out before I do the other page, because then I won't make this mistake on the other page. So I'm going to move this up to about there. And I don't have to worry about, sometimes the adhesive on this dark printed paper kind of pulls up. But since this other white sheet is going right to the edge of it, oh boy, hold on. It's never fun when you have to move something. I'm using this edge, which is the straight edge, and I don't know why I didn't do that first instead of trying to. Okay. Now I have room to add this, and I'll have the same amount. Yes, Jen. Well, you might need it for something else. Now I have to add some more tape over here. And I need to use my, I don't like to use my repositionable on here because you end up with little yuck. I really need to clean off this desk. It's amazing, the small space. You know, I always talk about the good old days when we shared 6-foot tables. But, and then I was sharing on the train trip how I used to scrapbook in the car when we would road trip, paper scrapbook. So we really don't need a lot of space. And if you could see where I'm actually, like, I mean, I'm scrapping in such a tiny little area right here. Okay, so that's ready to go. I'm gonna wait to stick this down until I have that extra picture when I decide. But I like it. Do you like it? What's the consensus here? Now I don't like to do. I want to do this if possible. So see how this pattern, this little piece up here is the same as that. I don't like to do that. I like to make them different. So I'm going to go that way. I'm going to leave this here so that I can get the height right. And do that. Oh, that's fun. I didn't even plan this, but I love how this pattern matches across the middle. I am so glad that that worked out and I didn't even plan it. Okay, so this piece is a little different. Let's get this guy down. And usually I put my cut pieces over here, and this time I threw them over here, and now it's a whole mess. All right, so I like this white with the yellow. I gotta move this over. I got 3 tape runners here. The repositionable is perfect for stuff like this. Little holes, and then you do it on your, tabletop or whatever, and then just do like that afterwards. That usually takes care of any runaway adhesive. And this goes on here. Again, I'm going to put this next to it so I can line up these mats like so. And go like that. And like this. And okay, so this one, tricky. All right, let's look. So the long one, I think the long one is the regular, like this. And it looks like that gets covered over. Though it doesn't have to. You could put it under if you wanted, but I'll go. And then this goes underneath, which I didn't realize until now. So that should have gone on last, but that's okay. All right, so let's put this down. Oh wait, this goes, oh, this is tricky because this is going, we're like weaving these. It doesn't have to be this tricky. I'm putting, that's going over. This is going under. I need another hand here at this point. For a second, I just panicked that I put the wrong. I had to do this one first because, I needed to see where it, so this one's going under, and this one's going over. I mean, I feel like that's the trickiest part of this whole page. Now I need more adhesive over here. All right, and my little border is hanging out, and it's white, so that will not do. Okay. All right, better. And now we've got these. We're using the reverse side of those. Oh, I did not even notice that this is cut, and that goes up there. Do we like that? I don't know how I feel about that. Does it show it cut? It does not show it cut, but I bet it's in this directions. So that's why we don't have to weave. We're supposed to cut. All right, I'll play along. No, that was not straight. All right, so this goes up here. I'm going to put it on this way so that the straight edge, it goes right up to the edge. And I'm going to have to cut off some of this. Look at the back of it with these palm trees. That's fabulous paper too. If you don't have this collection, and you live here in Florida, you want this collection. For sure, for sure. I need to make sure I have some for Jumpstart January because not everyone watches these lives, and they're going to see that paper. They're going to want that paper. Okay. So same with this. I'm not going to stick these down because I'm going to wait to see how the circle goes. All right, we are ready for photos. And Jen, if you're still on, this was that time you wore pink. Remember that one? All right. So over here on our guide, on our layout guide, also has these dimensions, are if they say photo, are the dimensions of the photo. And I like to add a 1/4 inch to those. And in fact, this, I don't know why there's all this extra room top and bottom. That's not necessary for me. So this is supposed to be a 3x4 photo. So that's 3x4. This is just the lobby of the Terrace Hotel, and I love it. So I want to include this picture. So I'm going to go 4. It's supposed to be 3 this way, so I'm going to go 3 1/4, which I hate to even lose. Well, yeah, it's a good color for you. I hate to lose any part of this fabulous lobby here, but so I'm going to go 3 1/4, and so I like a thin mat, and what's it? Let me measure this. This is 5 by 3 1/2. So 5. So I need 4 3/4. 4 3/4. How's that going to look? Let me cut off a little bit more up here. And then 4 3/4. All right. So now we have that with a thin mat. So my little bonus picture for this is actually this. The hotel is on the National Register of Historic Places, and I thought I would put that on here, not the tapestry. And over here, I'm going to put this picture and our group photo. And this is, okay, it's supposed to be 4 3/4, but 3 3/4. I'm gonna leave them 4, and then I'm gonna go 5 1/4. So I need to cut off 3/4 of an inch. There's plenty of room for me to do that. I should have done, because I like a thin mat. So you do have to do a little math, a little fraction adding there, but that's our first page. No, I don't want you. And put this together, and then we just have the one other page, and then we got another one done. All right, are we ready to do this? Let me cut this off. I'm going to leave a little bit of the wall on there. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, I think I like it like that. Go out of here. Your work is done. Repositionable tape. I mean, you can use the repositionable tape on your pictures. I just prefer to use the regular one. So we're going to go like that. And we got that page done. Now, come over here to this page. All right. I'm so bad about leaving that open, and we have had injuries, so try to keep that closed. All right, let's see. What are my other landscape photos? I've got this landscape photo, And I got this landscape photo. I got the pinks and the blues, and then, whoops, I'm gonna put one of these here, and this one I'm gonna circle here, and then this one's gonna go there. Okay, so these are 3.5 by 3.5. I don't know if we can do it. I like to do this, or I mean 3.25. Okay, I think we can. Let me come as close to Katie's head as I can, and there we go. Now, can I go the sides? I can't even tell what that is. Is that barb? All right, so there's 3.25. And then we need another. Here's 3.25. Okay. I hate to lose all that foliage because it's so pretty, but all right. And then we're leaving these at 4, and then 5.25 is what we need to go to. So 5.25. Marshall lost a little bit of her arm. At least the whole background is on this, so that's good. 5.25. All right. Let's get these attached. Okay, and let's get these attached. So we aren't going to Lakeland this year, as I'm doing Lakeland pictures. That makes me sad, but I'm hoping to have my 80th retreat in Lakeland, because we're always in these bright colors. That's going to be fun for our 80th, I think. Now we actually have some options here. I think I can circle that, and my plan is to go here. So I do have my custom cutting system here, and I think, no, not that one. So I thought I could do the inside of that, but I'm gonna have to use the outside. The outside of the smallest one actually gives you a nice, it's the closest you can get to the edge of a 4x6, if that makes sense. So we're just gonna lose, Jen, you're gonna lose a little of your arm, but not much. Just as long as we don't lose people's heads. It was close there, but we're gonna lose some feet. And if it's been a minute since you've just pulled your custom cutting system out, I promise it still works. You want to use that. It's such a great way to fit more pictures on your page, because you can squeeze things into little nooks. Look at me, leaving this blade open. I am just really wanting. Uh-oh. Did I just lose my mic? I heard it bing. Okay, whew, I'm back. All right. What did I just do with it? Here it is. This space, making me uncomfortable. Why are we separated? Why are we, don't we want to be together? All right, so I kind of like this. This bridges that gap, but I think I can add some journaling in there, and I think that's going to make me feel better. Do you have strong opinions? I figured you wouldn't mind, Jen, if I cut off your arm. I need to cover my whole body up over here. This is before I've lost any weight, so I look very different. All right, so I said I like to use this for journal boxes, and I am a fan, just like those little what do we call those things that were on the other page? I like to use little line journaling, and Creative Memories actually sells little stickers that are like this, but I like to do them different widths like this and kind of stack them up, and I can actually put some down. This is dangerous, doing this on top of photos like this. Not recommended. Yeah, that spot, and then kind of bridge this gap over here. I can put people's names there. Look, I've got this piece too. I cut some more here. Oh, I don't think you can hear her, but if you've watched before, it's 4 p.m. and my dog, ever since we fell back all the way in November, started crying for dinner at 4 p.m. She is crying at my office door right now. She said, hello, you're supposed to be off your live right now, and I'm supposed to be getting my dinner. She just turned 15. I can't believe I didn't share any pictures on Facebook of her 15th birthday. I still can. Come on, don't be crooked. Don't be crooked. Oh, good. Lori, thank you. Okay. All right, I stitched together this island of pictures over here, and that is our 2-page spread. What do you think? This is the Winter Bliss project recipe, and I think that it looks pretty good. What do you think? There's a little glare over there. Better? All right. Well, that'll do it. If you did not or were not able to register, you'll want to go and register for this event. You still have some time to go register. I always do it for an hour and a half so that if you've watched or you catch the tail end, you can go back. You don't have to leave in the middle. So go to DaytonaAreaScrapbooking.com. That takes you right to the calendar page. You can sign up for this event, and then you'll get the PDF that you can use for your very own. And if you missed it and you're watching, don't forget, if you're watching the replay, that if you put in the comments your favorite blade for the trimmer, or the blade you would most like to receive, then you will be entered to win the I Love Scrapbooking trimmer strap or headband for whatever you like to use it for. You know, sometimes you don't have a hair tie handy, so that could save you in and a hot flash out of crop. All right, well, that's it for today. It's 4:01. My dog is demanding food as we speak, so I will say goodbye for now, and I look forward to seeing advisors at the advisor crop this Saturday and all of you next Tuesday for Tool Time with Tara. All right, until I see you again, stay scrappy, my friends.